Hey guys, welcome back to the Crazy Cozy Corner. It's that time of month. It's our reading wrap up. So we had a pretty okay reading month, and yeah. So we're going to start off talking about our 4-star books. We're changing it up this month. Instead of in order, we're going to do the ones that I enjoyed to the least, like most to least. So the first book that I started last year and finished this year was Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. This was a 4-star. So if you don't know, Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies is a retelling of Pride and Prejudice. I think I like, oh, you can see where I had my eye drop. I liked this retelling more than I liked the Georgiana Darcy novel, just because, you know, Darcy was more true to form here, and I guess I didn't realize, but I like the books to, if you're gonna do a retelling, for them to make sense, like the characterizations to make sense. But anyways, about this one, we're not faced with just having to find someone eligible to marry. We're faced with having zombies in the mix. There's been a terrible epidemic in that, like, people get bit and they're changed into these dying or undead things, zombies, right? There was lots of things that took me by surprise, because the movie is so much more different than the book from what I remember. I didn't remember Mr. Collins offing himself, and I didn't remember Charlotte getting bit and like changing. So that was a pretty big difference, book to movie. Book to book, like the original Pride and Prejudice to the book, like they're basically one for one, except, you know, they're zombies, but it's pretty much the same story, same beats, everything. Whereas the movie of Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies is a little bit different, which is fine. That it got me to read this book. I don't know if I would have enjoyed the book if I hadn't seen the movie first, because it's basically just Pride and Prejudice with a little bit of zombies, but that's fine. So that was a 4-star. I really enjoyed it. I love Pride and Prejudice, so it's probably pretty easy to appease. Actually, I have it framed. So I'll be back. Okay, sorry. I had a call to answer. So this is my, oh, you can see my computer and everything, but this is a Jane Austen kind of puzzle that I did. Anyways, so point being, I love Jane Austen, at least the one book I've read. I'm gonna be honest about that. I haven't had the chance to read her other works just yet, but that is on my plan for the rest of my life. Okay, but after that, another 4-star was The Land of Stories. This is the first one. This is The Wishing Spell. I had tried reading it before, and I got about 8 chapters in, or 150 pages in, and it just wasn't working for me. But what I did different this time was I followed along with the audiobook that Chris voices, and it was like just very engaging, and I really liked it. And so I'm actually, we'll talk about it later, but I'm actually listening to the second one right now. But you follow, oh, am I just about to out myself? I don't remember their names at this moment. Connor and Alex. Okay, so there's a 12-year-old, I think they're 12. Yeah, they just turned 12 in this book. And they're twins. They had just previously, the year prior, lost their father, and their mother's struggling to make ends meet and stuff like that. And they find out that they may or may not have access to a fairy tale world that they didn't know exactly existed until their birthday. And so they meet a few fun they meet several fun characters, like the ones we know and love: Cinderella, Red Riding Hood, Snow White, Evil Queen, like characters like that. But we also get introduced to characters like Froggy, who has a secret, which is found out at the end of the book, and I think is very cute. So those were the 2 4-star books. Oh, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies is, you know, Jane Austen, but it's also like worked on by Seth Grahame-Smith. And The Land of Stories is by Chris Colfer. I'm sure he acted in plenty of things, but the only thing that I know him personally from is when he played Kurt in Glee. And that is how I know him. So next, we have our 3-star books. And they're in order of like how I read them. So like, it might not be like one after the other, but it's like what I started with and what I ended with in 3 stars. So I think this was on one of my TBR tackles, Order of the Majestic. Order of the Majestic by Matt, and his last name. I'll pop up the book itself. But I enjoyed the book, but I think it ended in a perfect way where I don't feel like I need to continue the series. It is a kid's book to middle school. I guess that's still like, I mean, you're a kid until you're 18, right? Depending on where you're from. But I feel like you're still a kid when you turn 18 and even older, because you really don't know what you're doing for a long time. And then do you ever really know what you're doing? Well, existential crisis aside, this was when I got into the correct mood to read it. Really enjoyed it. If you want more in-depth explanation on it, you can go watch my TBR tackle, and I talk about Renando and Joey and all their fun adventures. Next 3-star book. Next 3-star book is Divergent by Veronica Roth. I was gonna say, like, I think I also did this in my TBR tackle. I wasn't super impressed with the book, if I'm being 100% honest. There was some things that I remembered, but I didn't remember most of it. It took me a long time to get into it, but eventually I did. And I guess when you had to read between this or The Chef, like, this is gonna take the cake. So it was typical YA dystopian, but it was really, like, once we got past the initiation and getting to the actual action, which unfortunately was only the last maybe quarter of the book, that's where it maybe made it a little bit more exciting, made the dissension between the factions a little bit more real. I'm interested to see how she carried on the series, and it's the only reason I'm continuing it is because I own all the books, or I own at least the main trilogy, and so I'm gonna see where that leads me. But after that, we had the most fun. Okay, I read the two next ones in succession, so it's kind of hard to split them, but I read City of Glass by Cassandra Clare because it popped up on my Libby, and I was going to read this instead of The Chef, which we're going to talk about, but that's like a no-star book, so yeah. So City of Glass, we follow Clary, Jace, Isabel, Simon, all that thing. I can't really remember too much. Okay, Valentine's was still alive in this one. So this is the one where, spoilers, Jace gets killed. And so there's still the incest plot. This is the book that it finally comes out that they're not related, which, I mean, three books is too much. It's too much for that kind of plot, but that's my opinion. Yeah, not my favorite one of the series. We're actually going to talk about my favorite one right now. City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare. This one, loved it because the absence of the incest plot. So it's my favorite of the like 4 books that I've read in the series so far. Is it like the peak literature? Not to shame anybody, but to me it is not. But it was definitely better than the other books where the main issue was that they were related. So I was really glad that, because the issues were just because they're teenagers and don't know how to express themselves or like think through their emotions and stuff like that. That's like legit, but not like wanting to kiss your brother or sister, you know, legit. So I'm nervous about the next book because Sebastian's back. Yeah, spoilers. This one's been out longer. Has it? I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, so that was another 3-star. It's a higher 3-star than The City of Glass because, so the series itself to me is not bad. I just do not like that trope. I've never seen that trope used like that before. It just might be like that. I know like there's the theories that it was based, like it was a Harry Potter fan fiction and stuff like that. I think it's been debunked, but I'm gonna spread that, even though it might have been debunked. But anyways, the next 3-star was The Darkest Minds. Was not planning on continuing this, okay? I was along for the ride, but I wasn't really like, woo, the entire time. But the ending, I'm mad about it. I am mad about this ending. Hold on, I'll be back. Okay, I am back again. I got everything sorted out, so yay. Don't remember what I was saying, so we're just gonna go over it again, okay? So this book, I wasn't super interested, and then the end did me dirty, okay? So we follow this girl named Ruby, and there's this disease or something that's going around that either kills your kids or gives them powers or whatever. And she goes to this camp. So they are trying to rehabilitate these kids. They're not. Like, spoilers from the very beginning, you find that out pretty quick that they don't care to actually help the kids. They're just afraid of them. And so on her 10th birthday, she accidentally, spoilers, erases herself from her parents' memories. And so she gets hauled off to this camp, and like thinking about it is really sad to be erased from your parents' memories and then being replaced. But she is seeing how kids are being treated if like based on the color, like their color means like how dangerous they are. So there's green to red, like green, blue, yellow, oh no, green, yellow, blue, maybe switched, orange and red from what I remember. And yeah, she is broken out pretty early in the book by the Children's League, but the Children's League is very misleading, is they're just trying to use the powerful kids to kind of like fight back at the government. It's not really for the kids' benefit, it's for theirs. I mean, and isn't that like humans? Find something to use for your own benefit. But yeah, like I said, I wasn't super interested in. There we go. Okay. I don't even know what I was saying. My alarm went off, my phone fell, I tried to put it back up and then it fell again, and then the books fell because it's not on this little tripod here behind this light like it should, or like in front of the light as it should be. No, it's on my bookshelf because my bookshelf stays more stable than the little holdy thing, although I use it sometimes. Anyways, another kind of YA dystopian type thing. Sci-fi? Yeah, like sci-fi, dystopian. Not, I guess it's not super far into the future. It's kind of like, so would that be just more sci-fi? I don't know. But like another thing that I would have eaten up probably when I was a kid or younger. But it just wasn't for me. But thankfully my library has the rest of the books because I want to find out what happens, because she erased herself from his memory. That makes me mad. Mad. Yeah, I just spoiled it. But I mean, I did say spoilers, right? I mean, I usually don't talk about a book without spoiling. So that was another 3-star. And it is something that I'll be unhauling like the actual physical copy of, because I don't, like, I like having the full series and I don't want the whole series. I want to read it. I just don't want it because I don't think I'll ever read it again. Like, I'm even contemplating, totally off topic, but The Host that I read last year, I was thinking about it and I'm like, I don't think that's something that I would read again. It made me cry, but I don't know if I would take the time to read the nothing that happened again. And so I think I might unhaul that. We'll see. Okay, but the last book that I actually finished this month, which you've seen this one before many months ago, but it's The Mind Gut Connection by Emeran Mayer. And I mean, I finally finished it. It took me reading a chapter a day for a while to actually catch up, to actually finish it, not catch up. But I mean, it was good. It was a 3-star like nonfiction book. It was very interesting, talking about how our gut and brain may be more connected than we think. This book was published in 2016. It's mostly theory. There's some like actual evidence-based thing, but I mean, most science is theory until it's proven, and then it's still theory because it can, like, science is always changing and stuff like that. So it's almost 10 years old, so I don't know what the most recent stuff is, but I mean, from reading and like having a stomach of myself, like having a stomach myself, I can see how closely connected the brain and the stomach can be. Like, quick thing for me is I am not, like, I don't have an allergy to gluten, and I'm not, like, I don't have celiac or anything, but when I eat gluten, I'm bloating, and, like, I feel terrible, like, physically, but then it does stuff to me mentally. So we're gonna talk, like, so I'm gluten intolerant. I found this out because I had quit gluten for a little bit, and I think it takes 2 weeks to a month to get out of your system. Well, for my birthday, I decided I wanted a kolache, and so I ate a kolache and was indulging in more gluten. Well, by that evening, like, it not only messed with my, like, how I felt physically, but mentally it was messing with me. Like, I had people coming, like friends coming over to celebrate my birthday with me, and I was just very anxious, not very appreciative, and it wasn't because I just didn't feel right. I don't know if that makes sense. Well, then the next day I was going to get breakfast with a family friend, and I was halfway down my street in tears because I could not remember if I locked the front door or not. I did lock the front door, but I couldn't remember, and I was so anxious about it that I was in tears. And it had been a while since I had been like that, actually, prior, like when I was eating gluten before I stopped it. Like, that level of anxiety and everything was constant. And so it was really interesting to see, like, direct correlation. Like, I stopped eating this food, and, like, this type of food, this thing that makes me bloat and makes me physically feel sick and bad, and it actually messed with my, like, had messed with my mind. And so, like, it was, like, not clearing up, but it was just very interesting. So definitely highly recommend this. I'm sure there's more books that are updated to be closer, maybe 2023, 2024, but I mean, yeah, and with that literature. So that was all the books that I read and did not finish this month. But we can talk about what I am currently reading, because I am I'm reading quite a few books. So on my Kindle, I'm reading The Dollmaker. That main character is Sheen, insufferable. But I might actually like the book because she's insufferable, because she's memorable, you know? But, like, I'm only 50% through. And I'm also reading Brené Brown, Daring Greatly. I'm reading, like I said, the second book in the Land of Stories series, The Enchantress Returns. I'm on page 158. I started listening to it last night and, like, following along, and so I got a big chunk of it listened to today. And then the book that I still haven't touched since the TBR Tackle video is The Two Twisted Crowns. I'm still 12 pages in, and I think that's just, oh, that was like the prologue. Yeah, prologue and the first chapter. But those are the 4 books that I'm currently reading. If you look on my Goodreads, I have another book on there still, which is The Five Broken Blades. I don't remember even how far I got into that, and it just wasn't my time to read it then, and so I didn't finish it. But yeah, that's the books that I'm currently reading going into the month of February. Thank you so much for watching the Crazy Cozy Corner and hanging out with me. I always love hanging out with you. But like, subscribe, share, comment. That was a lot of Cassandra Clare. Yeah, why not? Or whatever you want to comment. But I'll see you in the next. Bye.